There's more activity, and those stocks that if they were perceived to be too valued as 50 kobo, now they can be properly priced at whatever levels they should be.
What's the likelihood they'll move up from 50?
I mean, since they've been stuck at 50, ultimately, yes, the likelihood of a downtrend since the rule has come into play is more it's more likely
than moving from 50
up,
to
because
100.
there was no ceiling for them. It's not like you couldn't have moved up from 50 all these years. Some stocks have been stuck at 50 for a very long time, but now, you know, there can be market dynamics. And I ultimately believe that, yes, there might be an initial knee-jerk negative reaction, but the more activity moves on those stocks, you could actually see them even go higher than 50 kobo, maybe when there's positive news around the stock.
So the 50 kobo, which was technically the glass ceiling, could be broken in this instance, in which if you go lower, then there could be an activity and a turnaround.
Push you above 50 kobo.
That can push you above, that can push you above 50.
Yes, they were not being stuck at 50. They could have gone up all these years.
So even from 5 kobo to 10 to 50 could actually be massive growth.
Exactly. I mean, if you fall there, for example, now the rule has come into play. I think about 4 companies closed below 50 kobo yesterday at 48 kobo. Ultimately, if some stocks keep going down and they get to, you know, 5 kobo or whatnot, you know, yes, they can get there, but ultimately they can move higher. They can go beyond that, depending on, you know, sentiment around the company earnings, macroeconomic environment, and ultimately how investors feel about the stock.
Sentiment, because sentiment right now among local retail investors is that I've been holding these stocks.
They just want to.
Yes, I've been holding this for so long, at 50 or thereabout. Now let it go. Do you think there's a likelihood of massive, I don't want to use the word dumping, but?
Well, for a trade to occur, there has to be a willing buyer and a willing seller. Yes, there might be offers. Like we saw yesterday, there was significant offers on some stocks, but there was no willing buyer at that price. So maybe they need to lower their price, and then we'll see a willing buyer.
Depress the price a little bit more.
I mean, maybe you need to for the trade to actually happen. So that's what you ultimately
Interesting. Who would be interested here? I have an idea. Who's offloading? That would be local retail investors.
Precisely, that have just been holding it at that price for a long time. And you would see people that actually still see opportunity in these stocks. Like I said, a lot of them are insurance companies, and there's still room for growth in that particular sector. So if maybe a 30 kobo price comes up or 35 kobo price, and an investor sees that and says, I'm interested in going into the stock at this price, then there's a trade, and that actually ultimately happens. So yes, retail locals that have been holding it for so long, we might see them.
But isn't it time to get a little bit not to follow the herd instincts as we know it in the market? Because
that's always key. No matter what new rules or regulations are put in on the exchange, you should ultimately know fundamentals of the companies that you're trading on. You shouldn't just trade by the stock just looks nice. You need to know the fundamentals. How have their earnings been? What is the perceived sentiment on that particular stock? So that's how you should trade, not just because the exchange has said, yes, you can fall below 50. You just want to dump because they said that. You need to know the fundamentals of the company, because you need to, whatever company you are dumping now, if you find a buyer, you don't know if they have seen something as well. So you need to get your information as well.
What you're saying on the opposite side of the street is that folks with deep pockets are likely on the prowl as we speak right now.
Absolutely, especially if you have a strategic motive and you believe that, okay, like I said, there's a lot of insurance companies at that 50 kobo threshold. If you have valued the company, or you have done research and you see the value of that company, let's say you believe it's 40 kobo, and a local retail investor that just wants to dump offers it to you at 40 kobo, you will take those volumes, and ultimately that's your trade. So like I said, it creates more activity, even for those dormant stocks. It improves market efficiency. You know, you can price stocks how they should be. No one should tell you exactly where they must be. Market value and par value don't necessarily need to be the same.
Do you have these penny stocks in the consumer goods space?
You would still see a few, but most of them are insurance companies. There's some logistics companies. One particular stock was a logistics company yesterday that closed lower than 50 kobo threshold. So most of them are insurance, is what I would say. And then those smaller sectors that are not very well represented on the exchange, you would see the major sectors: banking, consumer goods, industrial goods, oil and gas. Most of those sectors stocks are above 50 kobo, but you still see some. Yeah.
But they'll still feel part of this new pricing methodology.
Absolutely.
Anyway, and the
Definitely.
number of size,
exactly.
volume that you need to tick the price.
Exactly, that you need to move the price.
Yes.
So like I said, the tick sizes have changed. No more 1 kobo, 2 kobo. Now it's 10, 5, and 1.
Very interesting how things are working out down there at the stock exchange. Yeah, thanks for bringing us up to speed and unpack this new package that the stock exchange is hitting us with in the new year, and makes all of us begin to look at the market with a fresh new eye. When we come back, we'll try to wrap up the program for the final few minutes, but still in the equities market, financial markets generally. Let's take a break. We'll be right back in 2.